in the area where the fog drapes itself like an old silk scarf across the limestone peaks, at the place where mountain breath meets river song in Vietnam, there grows a species that defies logic, gravity, and sometimes even the memory of time. You step carefully here, boots damp from moss-slick paths. The air is sweet with the breath of green, and somewhere above, the cliffs chatter faintly as stones loosen under root pressure, roots that belong not to mighty trees, but to the lean, whispering giants of bamboo. Now, turn down the lights, turn on the fan to some soothing music, and let's embark on this night's journey together. You're standing at the edge of a grove that wasn't here 10 years ago. Not exactly here. A grandmother in the village swears she watched it climb, slowly, year by year, defying maps and memory. They called it the Walking Grove. It migrated not by steps, but through the underworld, rhizomes, creeping underground like secrets passed between generations. They stretch laterally, barely a foot beneath the soil, spreading like stories that aren't quite meant to be told aloud. Have you heard of this resilient plant that can bore into stone like a monk seeking stillness in chaos? Some species here dig into rock crevices, ignoring the fact that most plants need soil like humans need shoes. These don't. They wedge themselves between limestone slabs and expand, not violently, but patiently. So patient, in fact, that in some places the cliff face has begun to split, not from age or erosion, but from pressure, gentle, unstoppable pressure. That's bamboo's secret. It doesn't win by being loud. It wins by waiting longer than anyone else. You crouch down beside a cluster of culms, their green skin veined with age. Touch one, and it feels alive, cool like morning tea, firm like a staff, hollow but never empty. Inside, tiny pockets of stored water ripple like breath in a sleeping child. You can see it when light hits right. That water isn't just hydration, it's insurance. Bamboo here doesn't beg the clouds for mercy during drought. It sips slowly from what it saved when no one was watching. A stalk may survive weeks without rain. More, if the soil below hasn't crumbled, and oh, how the soil crumbles. In this region, the monsoon hits with joyless regularity. Landslides come like drunk guests, sudden, destructive, and very hard to ignore. On the steep slopes of Hajiang or the ragged shoulders of the Huanglin Mountains, entire groves vanish overnight, swallowed by the shifting earth. But not all. Some remain. Bamboo knows how to bend. You see it in the way the stalks lean together, like monks in prayer, backs curved, heads bowed. Wind comes, and they whisper. Rain comes, and they sigh. Earth shakes, and they stay. Bent, not broken. That's another trick. Flexibility. The joints you see along each culm aren't just for show. They're built to give, like hinges in a well-made door. Wind, pressure, a careless cow, or even a falling boulder. Bamboo doesn't resist. It adapts. This isn't weakness. It's design. An engineer once said that bamboo's tensile strength is greater than that of mild steel. He was laughed at until he built a bridge with it. That bridge is still standing. And yet, despite all this genius, bamboo isn't immortal. It faces quiet wars you can't see. Invasive grasses sneak in, blades sharp and fast-growing. They choke young shoots, outpace them to sunlight. There's also greed, the kind that swings a machete too eagerly. In the 1980s, a new highway demanded land. Whole swaths of ancient bamboo were cleared in a weekend. No one mourned, not then. But when the rains came and the hills bled, people remembered. They replanted, quietly, like an apology whispered too late. Even now, you can feel the air hum with something deeper than just wind. Bamboo doesn't forget. There's an omen told by the elders: when bamboo flowers, famine follows. A rare, eerie event, one some species wait 60 or even 120 years to do. And when it happens, the groves die. Not some, all. In 1908, near the Red River, villagers watched as acres of flowering bamboo withered, attracting waves of rats who devoured grain and gnawed through thatched roofs. The famine that followed became folklore. No one alive remembers the flowers, but everyone remembers what came after. Still, the plant returns, always. Bamboo's survival strategy is rooted not just in biology, but in relationship. You see, it's not alone. In this mountain village, it grows alongside star anise, sheltering it from the harsh sun. Birds nest in its canopy. Ants protect its shoots from boring beetles. Even the villagers protect it, planting it beside homes for shade, weaving it into baskets, mats, fences, a barter of sorts. We use you, you stay. A quiet pact between plant and people. You pass a wooden bench made of polished bamboo. The grain glows golden under your lantern. You sit, and the night deepens. There's no moral here, no tidy lesson, just this. In a place where most things break, bamboo does not. It walks, it waits, it whispers, and tonight, it dreams with you. You drift now, away from mist and stone, carried westward by air that grows warmer, drier, and redder with dust. No more moss beneath your feet. Now, it crunches, sun-scorched earth and broken twigs. You are in the lowlands of Kenya, near the Thika River Basin, where the wind smells of clay, sun, and acacia bloom. Bamboo lives here too, though you wouldn't think it should. And yet it does, taller than the goats, tougher than the fire, quieter than the sky. The grove here stands less like a forest and more like a whisper that never stopped growing. Your hands brush across its tall stalks, thicker, more sun-hardened than the ones you met in Vietnam. These culms are built for heat. Their leaves are curled inwards, a protective posture that minimizes water loss like a person pulling their coat tight in a sandstorm. This reflex isn't just smart, it's ancient. Evolution scrawled it into bamboo's DNA millennia ago, and it whispers across each leaf like a lullaby to the sun. Here, bamboo survives by tricking thirst. It gathers water during the cool early mornings, pulling it in while dew lingers on the savanna grasses and holds it close all day. That same hollow structure you admired earlier now serves as a canteen, distributing moisture bit by bit during the heat. It doesn't flaunt it. You'd never know just by looking. But inside, each culm is a slow-breathing miracle of hydration management. And it needs to be, because fire is coming. You don't see it yet, but you smell the ghost of it. Burnt charcoal, dry leaves, a distant warning. Fires here are not mistakes. They are part of the landscape's rhythm, like a drumbeat that occasionally surges into a roar. Lightning starts some, yes, but others are ignited by human hands. Farmers clearing fields, herders managing pastures, villagers with no better method. And bamboo? It stands in the path like an old sentinel. It doesn't run, it burns. But not the way you expect. Its outer layers char quickly, sealing the living inner stem from deeper damage, like a knight's armor blackened by battle but unharmed underneath. Bamboo survives what should destroy it, and even when fire claims the stalk, the rhizome lives, coiled like a secret beneath the earth. Within weeks, new shoots push through the ash, vivid green against gray ruin. That's why they call it phoenix grass. Back in the 1980s, near Mount Kenya, a particularly fierce fire tore through farmland and forest. Everything was flattened, trees blackened, bushes gone. But locals say the bamboo didn't just return, it returned first. And in its return, it softened the land for others. In its shade, herbs grew, bees returned. The forest, shy and scorched, began again under bamboo's hand. But its generosity is also its curse, because goats love it, not metaphorically, literally, especially the young shoots, soft, sweet, rich in silica. Herders sometimes guide their flocks directly into new groves. The result? Nibbled stubs, shoots chewed down before they ever get to rise. Bamboo fights back subtly, developing slightly bitter compounds, growing in tighter clumps, but it's not a war it always wins. And then there's the invader, lantana, a flowering shrub introduced for beauty and erosion control, but it spread with a vengeance, its tangly arms climbing, sprawling, suffocating. It seeds fast, loves the sun, and doesn't share space. In some Kenyan valleys, bamboo chokes beneath its weight. There's something cruel about watching two plants fight, each trying to survive, neither knowing it's the wrong kind of battle. But bamboo has allies. Along the Thika Basin, certain birds nest only in its culms. They dart in and out, tiny blurs of feather and warning call. These birds feed on the insects that bore into bamboo's flesh, protecting their home in a perfect, quiet economy. Elsewhere, termites help break down fallen bamboo faster than decay would allow, returning nutrients to the soil for the next wave of growth. And in one village, you hear stories of the listening bamboo. This was during the 1983 drought, the worst in a generation. Springs dried, fields cracked. But one grove of bamboo stood near a dying stream. The villagers say it whispered water, that when they placed their ears to its base, they could hear trickling deep inside. Eventually, someone dug near the roots. They hit a moist pocket, then a vein of underground flow. Bamboo hadn't just survived, it had led them to water. Is it magic? No. Is it design? Maybe. You lean against a culm, and it sighs softly. The wind rustles high above, turning leaves like pages in a prayer book. Sunlight filters in, dappling your skin in shifting gold. Have you ever noticed how bamboo rarely grows alone? Even in this fire-scarred savanna, it clusters, never quite apart. In groups, bamboo regulates its own shade, creates humidity pockets, and softens the wind. If one stalk falls, the others lean. If a goat bites one, the others thicken. It's a communion of culms, a parliament of survival. And that's where its strength truly lies, not in muscle or bark, but in quiet, adaptive companionship. A network of life that includes fire, goat, bird, and even you. You rise, brushing dust from your sleeves. The sun is low now. The culms cast long shadows, slender, upright, defiant. Tomorrow, the fires may come again, but so will bamboo. You move now, not across land, but toward the sea. The soil beneath your feet shifts from red dust to coarse sand, salted by air that never fully dries. The wind sharpens, the light cools. You are on the coast of Japan, perhaps near the Boso Peninsula or the edges of Kochi Prefecture, where the land meets the sea with no apology, and the sea replies in crashing rhythms. Here, bamboo is not a forest, not a fuel, not even a shade. Here, it is a wall, a green, breathing, rooted wall that has stood where sea walls failed. You walk beside it as gulls circle above and the surf tumbles rocks like dice. These stalks are tall, taller than the fire-tempered kind of Kenya, straighter than the rock clingers of Vietnam. Their leaves flutter like sailcloth. And beneath the sand, something incredible happens. The roots interlace, twist, and net the soil like a spider web woven in silence. They hold the land together, not metaphorically, literally. You're walking on earth that would not exist if bamboo hadn't held it there. This coastline suffers. Typhoons roar through every year, each storm angrier than the last. Waves claw at the shore. The sea eats little pieces of Japan annually. But where bamboo grows, the coast holds. Even when seawalls crumble, even when concrete fails, bamboo often remains. Why? Because it doesn't fight the wave. It absorbs it. It yields just enough, then returns. You stop by a calm swaying in the wind. Its joints, those tidy little notches along its height, aren't there just to mark age. They allow flex, like vertebrae in a dancer's spine. A gust bends the stalk toward you, and you swear it bows. It snaps back slowly, gracefully, never cracking. It's like watching someone nod just before doing something impossible. And impossible is exactly what happened here, not long ago. After the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, whole coastal towns were erased. Houses, cars, railways, all gone in the span of minutes. But along a certain stretch of shoreline, something odd happened. A grove of bamboo, dense, unremarkable, ignored for decades, remained. Not untouched. No. Bent, battered, half-scorched from floating debris, but alive and standing. Locals still bring flowers there, not because bamboo saved anyone directly, but because it was the last thing standing, and in a place where so much was lost. That meant something. That meant everything. Now, you lean in close to the roots. They snake underfoot like braids, binding one stalk to another. Bamboo doesn't stand alone. Each culm connects to a rhizome, a horizontal lifeline underground. And those rhizomes send up new stalks, knowing just where to grow to avoid crowding, just how long to wait before breaking through the soil. And here's the part you didn't expect. These new shoots time their emergence with uncanny precision. How? Temperature? Light levels? Seasonal winds? Bamboo listens. It waits through storm season, then sends its young upward only when danger passes. Not cowardice, strategy. A child doesn't walk into a riot. A bamboo shoot doesn't face a typhoon. This instinct saved thousands of groves. Because while old stalks were shredded by storm winds, their replacements emerged weeks later, clean, unbroken, and ready to anchor again. A silent relay of resilience. You'd almost call it choreography if it weren't so perfectly real. Still, the sea creeps forward. Salinity levels rise. Salt burns roots like fire burns flesh. In some coastal areas, young bamboo falters, yellowing too soon. Fishermen say the groves no longer sound the same, less rustle, more rattle. Soil scientists dig in, trying to find out how to help. One researcher from Nagoya swears he's seen a new mutation, a slight waxier sheen on the leaves of sea-adjacent groves. Early resistance? Maybe. Bamboo's answer to salt might not be loud, but it's likely already growing. You continue walking and notice the grove thins as it approaches a small fishing village. Now you rise, not from sea to sky, but from memory to myth. The air cools again, not from ocean breath but altitude. You are climbing. Past prayer flags that flap like voices from the past moss-wrapped stones and goat trails that vanish into mist. You are in Bhutan now, nestled between Himalayan peaks and ancient chants. Here, bamboo is not merely plant, it is ritual. It grows where monks meditate, where snow kisses soil, where the divine and the earthly don't meet, they merge. You pass a monastery wall built from river stones, woven with vines, and anchored by bamboo, not planted, but invited. Its roots ease through crevices in the rock, anchoring the structure like hands in prayer. These are alpine bamboos, Eushenania microphylla and its kin, designed not for lush forests, but for frost-bitten mornings and altitude sickness. You exhale, and it mists. Bamboo here does the opposite. It inhales the sky. The culms are darker, almost bluish, their outer layers thicker than their coastal cousins. That thickness isn't vanity, it's protection. At 3,000 meters above sea level, temperatures snap suddenly. Frost arrives not by season, but by whim. And bamboo? It's ready. Inside each stalk, a hidden layer of silica crystals forms like internal chainmail, shielding cells from rupture. When the wind roars, bamboo leans. When the snow falls, bamboo holds. But even this noble grove holds its breath for one reason, because once every 100 years, maybe more, it flowers, not blossoms, not petals, a subtle, grain-like flower that no one sees coming, a botanical clock set long before any human was born. The monks know the signs. Animals behave strangely. Birds vanish. Then, one morning, a stalk flowers. Then another. Then every stalk in the grove. Then, death. This isn't decay. This is destiny. Bamboo's strange suicide. The elders speak of it softly. When the bamboo flowers, change follows. They don't say if it's good or bad, but they remember. In 1964, the groves bloomed. Months later, famine. The mice had come, like a curse carried on furred feet, devouring stores, multiplying beyond belief. That year, the mountain children named bamboo the tree that feeds the storm. But the monks, they still plant it, still sit beside it, still brew tea with its shoots and warm hands on bamboo fires in winter. Because bamboo isn't feared here. It is witness to hunger, to rebirth, to the patience it takes to flower once every lifetime. And now, your path slopes down. The mountains give way to valleys, the soil rich again. You arrive in the southern arms of Vietnam, the Mekong Delta. Here, bamboo hums a different note, not monastic, not defensive, but familial. It grows along canal banks, watching floods roll in like distant cousins. Mud is no enemy. Bamboo relishes it. It plants its toes deep into it, sipping nutrients that would choke a lesser species. After storms, when water drowns the rice, when trees wash away, bamboo stands. Not because it's tall, because it's designed just right. Its culms tilt at precise angles, a spacing learned not from books, but from centuries of listening. Hydrodynamic geometry. Each stalk redirects the water, gently, not pushing back, dancing with it. You wade through a shallow path, reeds brushing your arms. You pass a fisherman's hut roofed with dried bamboo leaves. You see a mother weaving a fish trap with strips she peeled earlier that morning. The stalks grow just behind her, like green ancestors nodding in approval. And yet, bamboo here remembers war, not in wounds or memorials, but in silence. During the American War, the Viet Cong used bamboo groves for shelter, impenetrable, labyrinthine, and living. They'd vanish into them, the stalks closing behind them like theater curtains. American soldiers called them green walls. You hear stories from old veterans of walking into bamboo and never knowing what direction they came from. After the war, bamboo became a balm. In flood season, it became boats. In all seasons, forgiveness. And yet, even here, bamboo suffers. Pollution spreads, but bamboo tries. Always. It has no memory of defeat, only adaptation. The night settles slowly, like silt in water. The breeze fades, the leaves soften their song, and the stars above blink wider, as if lulled by your stillness. You are no longer in Vietnam, nor Japan, nor Kenya, nor Bhutan. You are in between, in the green hush that connects them. Bamboo has walked with you through mist and drought, through fire and flood, across war zones and temple walls. And now, it rests beside you, not proudly, not in need of thanks, just present. It's strange, isn't it? This grass, often mistaken for a tree, has no voice. yet it tells the oldest stories. It doesn't move, yet it travels across continents. It dies, sometimes in full bloom, only to teach us something we forgot, that even endings are a form of beginning. Let that thought settle on your chest like a blanket. Tonight, in the silence of your room, you carry the weightless strength of bamboo. Let the green grow around your dreams. Let the roots hold steady while you float. Let the silence carry you the rest of the way. Good night.